Sup nerds, is Nerdout back with another reaction, and today we are going to be reacting to the Nerdcore songs of this weekend. And honestly, we have some interesting ones, which is we have the Stupendium, GameboyJones, Nerdout, and DizzyEight, which I'm really looking forward to because like all of them are something different. Like none of them are similar, so I think this will be very interesting. The first one is going to be Stupendium and his Balatro song "Number Go Up." I have never played Balatro. I have seen people play Balatro though, and basically I know it's more or less poker on steroids. Is more or less what I have gotten from seeing it. At some point I want to play it. It seems like a fun game if anything, but yeah, I think this is going to be really interesting. If you guys have seen Stupendium, you know he always goes all out with his songs, especially the video production. So yeah, there's not too much to say other than for me to just shut up as we dive right in. Okay. All right.
Life is a drag.
Number
Life is a
Stupendium.
chore. Frightfully sad, so mindless a bore. Mice in a bag, you fight and you gnaw. For the right's just a brag, and the line for the door. The higher your score, the louder you bicker. Life gave you lemons, good heavens, you're bitter. And whatever you get to collect, will that head interject with incessant effect? Could be bigger. Here comes the next on a wreck. What the heck? Cut the deck, unsuspectingly betting their dinner when left unchecked. Cause a check bust the rest rubberneck, but expect still to end up a winner. You're ever in the dumps if you're stuck in a rut. You simply haven't had the fun of watching number go up. You know it's wonderful stuff. Let the hundred runneth over your cup. A touch of bucks to what the number go up. You must be pretty dumb for thinking some is enough. When you can add another one and make the number go up. Until you run out of luck. Can find your funds are down to nothing but fluff. The runners up and make a number go up.
Okay, so just right off the bat, yeah, specifically, like I said, I told you, Stupendium likes to go out in his video productions, and it clearly shows, like just the number, like the multiple number of hymns, and just like almost every single one having a different outfit is insane, and just like even the barbershop quartet with the little jester hats and everything, but just more or less just talking about how the addiction of playing the game is, because like when Balatro did come out, it kind of like became an obsession for so many people. Like it became such a big hit and stuff, and like it wasn't even a complex game or anything. It's just very simple. It's literally just you're playing poker, trying to get points, and you're just trying to beat a high score, more or less, is the objective, at least from what I understand. And it's just like it goes into that whole almost like gambling addiction kind of, because it's like you're just like you're still going no matter what, just to like try and get as high of a number as you possibly can, while at the same time like just relying on the luck to be on your side to get the specific like hand that you need in order to be able to go up so high. And it's just very interesting how it's going on, but it's like just just also seeing the production is what's killing me, because just all the different outfits and stuff.
That day to day is unbearably dry. Makes sense to chase that numerical high. Be it a salary, calories, boxes on balance sheets. Whoops, don't forget to subscribe. Are you feeling alive?
Hey.
Voices are pride. Baby father has cried. Have you asked yourself why? To blast through a ceiling might pass for a feeling. But Chauncey's you're leaving with plastering eyes. And the faster the rise, the harder the fall. Infinite gestures, you'll get curtain calls. My God, it's historic, meteoric. Alas, my poor Yorick. He held his head high through it all. You're in the dumps if you're stuck in a rut. You simply haven't had the fun of watching number go up. If your budget is bust, you gotta trust the funds are gonna erupt. You gotta look for making numbers go up.
It's catchy for sure.
When you can add another one and make the number go up. But all the luster can rust. Sweep your dreams into a dustpan and brush. You know this much to make the number go up. once told me about all the glitters. Now you might dream of queen, straight flush with the green. But get jacked when you're sold down the river.
Just the voice, just the show down by the river. But yeah, just like going back of how literally not only is like, you know, confronting like the whole Balatro, like of, you know, like you, like, are you going to be a quitter and just fold now, or are you going to keep going? Because it's also just, you know, a lot of like typical poker things, like, because, you know, in poker, a lot of it is like just as much of a mental game as it is a, you know, strategic game, because you could still win in poker by bluffing and stuff. So it's like, you know, like you can decide to fold, or you, like, you know, you can try and keep going. You can see if you could convince them to get the win and see what happens. And it's just, it's very interesting to me. Like, just like, you know, just this song is like maybe probably one of like a more simple one. Like, you know, it's not too overly complex, but it doesn't need to be. It's just Balatro, and Balatro is just poker. It's just like, you know, and regardless of how simple it is, it's still very good. You know, like it captures the game very well, captures the behaviors that players and stuff have for both the game and just regular poker for people that like to play cards and all that. So it's just, you know, all in all, this is just a solid song. It's catchy.
I find you're an ace, or just bluff from the start. Have diamonds and spades, or get clubbed in the heart. When the pot's at an end and the flop doesn't send you a handful of lovely cards. The world's at the table, it's prudent to play. To err, says the fable, is human, but hey, watch your stack, for the fact is that afterwards turning to crap is one little vowel movement away.
Dang. Oh, we got sax Stupendium. I love this. Oh.
Competing for dwindling court seating, all blind how fleeting their fame. The ante is up and the cards are face down. Sadly, it can be the other way around. But the biggest of figures won't impress the digger when picking your hole in the ground.
Oh. It just got a lot darker. Okay.
Thank you for watching, and a big hand to my ace patrons for keeping me flush enough to make projects like these, as well as to CK9C.
Honestly, that was really cool. Here, let me just getting the next song ready. But yeah, no, that was really cool just for Stupendium. Just like I said, I loved the production and the style, just all the different costumes and just how unique some of them were, like the fisherman jester, construction jester, caveman jester, out of all things. But I really liked it. It was cool. But yeah, Stupendium nailed it on that one. And now we're going to GameboyJones and his Gachiakuda rap song MOSHPIT featuring Ashton Rolled, I think. Sorry, I kill the names every time. And this is going to be focusing on Rudo from Gachiakuda. And I have read the manga of Gachiakuda, and I have just been getting into the anime. The anime is looking solid, honestly. Like, I'm loving the characters, how they're all acting, and just overall, I think the story itself is so unique. And just like the power systems of how it's not necessarily a power system of just like power, but more out of creativity and like what your own mind can set for limits and restrictions, and how there are times when, like, you know, your imagination doesn't have limits, so you could come up with almost anything. And it's just very fascinating story-wise. So I'm very curious what GameboyJones is going to be going with this. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Okay. Oof. Ooh. Mm. Mm. Hey. Okay. All right. Just this is insane. Just like the style, just kind of like almost like bit of like metal into this, like metal kind of genre. And like honestly, I could kind of see this as being a song in the actual anime. Like this really fits the tone and style of Gachikuta very well, and just like, you know, just the whole pit, drop him in, because you know, spoilers for people on this one, but Rudo was part of the top, like the, I can't remember what they called it, the sphere, I think. And then they assumed that he did a specific heinous crime, and then they dropped him down into the bottom layers, which is the trash zone, and that's where like all these like trash beasts and stuff, and just like more regular people live. And basically it's just like Rudo, he's on like a path to revenge, like getting back at the person who you know, did the crime originally, and how he was blamed for it, and also just trying to take down the people up there and just how they live, because they're pretty much the type of people where they are indeed very just spoiled, because it's like if something gets broken, they don't care, they'll just throw it away, buy a new one, and it's nothing, you know. And meanwhile for Rudo, he sees beauty in all like trash. Like he can see it as something that could be fixed or repaired, or something that's just not even trash at all. It's just like something that has a specific meaning to someone out there, and he deeply cares about that, and it's just very interesting. But I'm sidetracking a bit. So far the songs are very good. They're pretty much nailing Rudo's like mindset, and like I said, I could definitely see this in the anime for sure. Now we gonna bury you under the ground in a... All right. I like the aggression from this chorus. All right, let's see what Game Boy has. Ooh. Mm. Hey. Okay, just the bars out of this one. Just, I see like one man trash is another man's treasure, throwing, and I'm gonna throw you guys out because you are trash. And then also just like basically like Rudo, like I said, wanting to get revenge on the rich, of like how, like, you know, Game Boy said, putting revenge on the rich because they should all suffer. I'm gonna be honest, just based on the anime and the manga, all of the people like on the more higher up they do kind of suck. I'm not gonna lie. They all like I said, they're all spoiled and everything, but more than that, they're all just kind of like stuck up. They think they know better. Like if they assume that one person caused something, they don't even really get a chance to explain themselves. They're just thrown down into the trash world, and they don't even get a say. They just think they're all superior. Like I think best way, like they consider themselves like the celestial dragons in One Piece. That's I think the best way I can maybe word that, in my opinion. And it's just Rudo's just like he's had enough with that. He's done. He's ready to get his revenge on him when it's time. Okay. Ooh. The change. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Dang. Game Boy killed it there. Just like, first off, that transition on the beat and melody, that was very well done. And also just going in with like the more kind of serious talk for Rudo of how just like, I'm paying for the sins that I never commit. Because like I said, he was blamed for a heinous crime that he did where he never actually did it. It was this mysterious person that we have no idea who they are yet. But it's like he wants revenge on that guy and just all the surface dwellers kind of thing. And of how he's basically suffering right now on something that he never did, that he never would have like think that he could ever do. And everyone just assumes that he did automatically because of his past and his family and all that. And it's just like he's just sick of that. He's sick for paying for things that he never did. So he's just ready to put revenge. And it's just very well done how Game Boy and Ashton just did this. They nailed this one out of the park. But now, sorry, I was getting the next song up. We are getting into Nerdout and their Hollow Knight Silk song, Land of Silk and Song. Now, unfortunately, I've never played Hollow Knight. I don't know anything about it. I know there's a lot of lore and all that. It's kind of like insect-based, like character-wise and stuff. But yeah, I honestly could not tell you too much of the lore. I'm just kind of know the very basics of how you're trying to stop this evil force, and yeah, that's about it. But I think this will be a very cool song. I do know that Hollow Knight was incredibly popular, and how I can't remember if it was a year ago or even two that there was a teaser for the Hollow Knight Silk song. And, you know, it's now officially out, and it's just sweeping the nation. People are loving it, and it just kind of going crazy. So at some point, need to play Hollow Knight and all those songs. If you guys want to give me more lore on Hollow Knight specifically, please do. I love it when people tell me the lore of stuff in comments, because then it helps me gain more knowledge about certain things. So I'm not just like spitballing here and guessing. But yeah, I'm gonna shut up and let's get right into it. Okay.
I've been fighting for survival for so
Ooh.
long. I've been riding solo. I just wanna go home. I think everyone's an enemy, but what do I know? Empty and isolated, I'm feeling hollow. Hey, this
Okay.
is not fun, no, not at all. Yeah, so I gotta run to where I belong. To the light. shoot for the sun, now to feed them till it all comes down to
Ooh. Okay. Oh. Okay. Honestly, I'm just liking how this sounds more than anything, of how it just kind of has almost what's the, like, church or like holy chorus kind of style. Like, you get what I, like, you know what I mean? Like, you hear like those background vocals, like almost like a religious type of melody to it, and it sounds very pleasant. And just like, the switch up from the rapping to the singing is just very well done. And I can't remember for the main character in Silksong. I can't remember, like, if you guys can correct me on this, please do. I want to say he is just the older version of the main character in the first game, but I'm not too sure. Like I said, correct me if it's like someone else entirely, or if it is just an older version of him and all that. Just kind of, I just want to know. I'm curious.
in the past I was going down, descending in the rumors, but the sober now. Territory is unfamiliar, the unknown can be hideous, so I kill it with resilience. I can hear a song on the breeze and it's calling me, trying to escape from a place that's a part of me. I don't want the world crashing down and to follow me, but I know it's all on me. Yeah, I know it's all on me now.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh. The visuals of the game just look outstanding. Ooh. Okay.
Melodies that tangle through the ages, lyrics spun from stories of the past. All these nights become so low, the rights become the road, while we journey through the land of silk and song. Melodies that tangle through the ages, lyrics spun from stories of the past. All these nights become so low, the rights become the road, while we journey through the land of silk and song.
Okay. If anything, that was just a cool song to listen to. Like, that sounded really good. But yeah, honestly, just, I like that. That was really cool. Like I said, unfortunately, don't know any of the lore, so nothing. I got nothing out of that. But hey, it was still cool. It was so cool to listen to it. But now, yeah, sorry. Nerdout killed it. They honestly did. It was still a bop. It was still very catchy, and honestly, I'm probably gonna listen to it, especially when I actually start playing Hollow Knight for sure. But yeah, they did good. And now we're on the final song from this weekend, which is DizzyEight and his Okarun inspired song Colors. And this is Okarun from Dandadan. And all I can say is I love Dandadan. It is such a weird and trippy kind of anime and show, but it's done so well. Just with it thrives in the chaos. It's like basically it's like the chaotic good character in any D&D is probably the best way to word it. And Okarun is probably one of the best characters in the entire series. Like he's caring, he's smart, he tries his best, and more than anything, he just tries to protect the people that he cares about. And honestly, he's a really good person for that. So I'm very curious to see what DizzyEight is going to be going with this. Especially just because if you know Dandadan, you know the type of insanity that can come out of it. So I'm very curious what DizzyEight's going to be going with. Okay.
Ever since the first day that I met you,
Ooh.
always knew that you was something special. Baby, your presence something I wanna be next to.
Okay.
Any moment with you is a blessing. Baby, you gave me confidence, now I don't know what bottom is. I see you walking and you take away my oxygen. And it's
Ooh.
a compliment, don't know if that was obvious. Girl, we so promising, me and you was conversations. I became what I thought I never could be. With you I see things I never thought I would see. You
Okay.
opened up a world that I never could reach. And you gave me a space where I can finally feel free. So baby, take
Honestly, I like this. I like how Disney is taking this direction of focusing on Okarun and how much he just cares for Momo in Dandadan. Of how basically Momo like opened up Okarun's world so much the day that they met, and he's got to experience so much things that were beyond what he thought were possible. He's got to meet so many other people that he gets to call his friends, and honestly, like, she did just open the gates to the world for him, and he is so thankful by that, and not only cares about Momo, but like has a deep want to protect her and care for her and treat her kindly. And it just goes into like, you know, of how Okarun like like, you know, it I think it's very obvious where I'm going with this, of how there's definitely subtlety in the anime of them potentially having a relationship in the future, and just how much, like for Okarun in particular, of how much his world has changed because of her. And because of that, he's like made sure, because you've opened my world, I am going to make sure to protect your world. And that's how it kind of feels. And it's just, you know, it's very wholesome and heartwarming. Like, genuinely, Okarun and Momo probably have one of the most sweetest relationships in shonen anime, in my opinion.
man, can we dance through the night? Don't think you understand, one glance changed my life. Girl, I was dull till you brought luster to my life. You
Ooh.
show me color and you make everything bright when I'm with you.
Ooh.
Everything was brand new.
I wasn't expecting that high note.
See things I never knew, colors I never knew. I thank my God for you. I thank my God for you. You're the gift that keep on giving. Girl, I'm with it. I don't know what it is about you, but when I'm around you, I feel different. I feel lifted higher, like I'm in the clouds with you. I just got one desire, spend more time with you, more time with you. Like my heart start racing when you step inside the room. My troubles fade away like it's just me and you. Your love is like a melody, I can't forget the tune. It's on loop in my head, and that's true till I'm dead. I became what I thought I never could be. With you, I see things I never thought I would see. You opened up a world that I never could reach, and you gave me a space where I can finally feel free. So,
Hey.
baby, take my hand, can we dance?
Yeah, this is just sweet. This is very kind. Just like I said, I really like what Disney did with this. It's kind of like one of the perfect like love songs to describe Okru and Momo's love story, and it's just it's just sweet, heartwarming. Honestly, is all I can say, and also just I like just like what Dizzy is saying, because this is also like you can tell that this is a song that could be like I've always said this. Dizzy knows how to make his songs relate to a character very well, but also to real life very well. And you can tell that this is also just a very nice like song that can be dedicated to someone, and like it's a song that you could like just be playing and people would never get that it was based off of like an anime character or inspired by an anime character, And it's just I like that DizzyEight can do that. He can make it seem like it's just a normal song, even though that there's a very specific inspiration from it.
Hands through the night. Don't think you understand. One glance changed my life. Girl, I was dull till you brought luster to my life. You show me color and you make everything bright when I'm with you.
I still love that high note.
Everything feels brand new. Your love I never wanna lose. See things I never knew. Colors I never knew. I thank my God for you. I thank my God for you. For you. I thank my God for you.
Awesome. Yeah, that was very well done. Honestly, everyone just kind of hit it out of the park this week. I gotta be honest. Like, Stupendium did great, Gameboy did great, Nerdout did great, and DizzyEight did great. Everyone just did amazing. So, yeah, and I think I went a bit long on just the explanations overall, but I still had fun. I enjoyed the songs. Hopefully you guys did too, and hopefully you guys have other suggestions for me, whether it is certain videos, games, or anything, really. I will not hesitate to look within reason. But, yeah. Please, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, join the Discord if you are wanting to, if you're still here. But, yeah. Take care, stay safe, and see you on the next journey. Bye.